I want your everything as long as it's free. I want your love. Love, 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 I want your love.
Dusty, that was a beautiful intro. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. That's the Ethan and Dusty duo.
Singing some gaga.
Gaga. So anyway, in this episode, we have a very special guest.
Very special, actually. We found out early in this episode that was very special to you.
Yeah. Ethan Phillips. He's a great singer-songwriter, and he shares a lot with us in this episode, starting with the impact that you can have on people.
Yep, that was actually a big conversation to start out, and just kind of talked about also like how Dusty and Ethan know each other from back home, and
going off that
connection.
We were, we reminisced in the past and just talked a little bit about where we come from, and then we got
backwoods, boy,
in the backwoods. Then we got into Ethan's instrument evolution, going through different instruments from very young age.
Starting with mandolin, right?
Yeah. But y'all get all that in here.
And then also, where like people that have, actually this goes back to the theme of impact on people, and who Grandpa Nick was and his impact on
Old Saint Nick.
But not really. But kind of. It was like his Old Saint Nick.
And then after that, we kind of went into how Ethan began singing and writing songs, and the transition from those things being a hobby into a career path for Ethan.
It's always the most fun conversation, I think, with artists.
Yeah.
Grammy Camp.
Yeah.
And how that played a major role in getting him started and kind of showing him the real, like, helping him realize that it could actually be a career, and then also meeting other people that are like-minded, which is huge when you're trying to get into anything like this.
It was the first step he took with surrounding himself with the right people, and a lot. You can gain a lot from that,
which is one of the biggest things comes back to networking.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
which is always one of our major themes. Gets us excited, really.
Yeah, and then we dive into Ethan's experience in theater and the opportunities that came from that,
and how that through working through that, and also music, then helped him transition to moving to MTSU.
Yeah, and then we wrapped up this episode of Little Risk Big Fist with some upcoming shows and the upcoming EP.
Ooh, we got the exclusive, boy.
Yeah, so you'll get some exclusive previews at the very end of this podcast. So don't scroll through, just listen all the way through, and you'll get some.
Just hold your horses,
and you'll get some previews.
And the song you're listening to now is actually another song from Ethan Phillips
off of Wayfarer.
That is his first EP, and the song is titled Everything.
Actually, the first song that Ethan ever wrote, so I hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah.
And shout out to our sponsors.
Shout out. Strong body.
And shout audio. This has been Little Risk Big Fist.
But when you look at me, I melt in your hands. 'Cause you are everything. Yeah, you mean everything to me. Yeah, you are everything. Yeah, you mean everything to me. And to me.
All right, boys and girls.
Boys
You're back
and
for a
girls.
little.
What?
Little Risk Big Fist.
There it is.
I was looking for it. Wait a second. What is this?
Hold up 1 minute.
What is that?
What?
Wait a second.
Wow.
It's another one of the new samples that I forgot that I replaced.
Oh, yeah. What are you looking for?
I was normalizing it so it's louder.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay, cool.
All the settings are there and stuff. I was checking. All right, boys and girls. We have special guests in the studio today.
Yes, we do.
Welcome, Ethan Phillips.
Ethan
Hello.
Phillips.
Dude,
Yeah.
we still don't have the cheers.
We
need
still
to-
don't have the cheers. Yeah, see,
You know?
we're going to add those things. So,
But
if you don't know Ethan Phillips, you're about to.
That's the whole point.
What?
Boy, since when did you get the same? You have an off day? You tired?
Yeah,
You a little sleepy, boy?
a little bit. Yeah,
But
it's okay.
we had a little. I still think it's warm up here, man. I don't know. It's me.
Hey, we'll make it.
Yeah, we
can
can
make
do
it.
this.
Yeah, we'll
Some
push
out.
through it together.
I'm gonna open the window.
For the rest of this podcast, we're the Ethan Phillips trio, and we're
I like the
going.
Magic Moose trio personally.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so we'll go with that.
Let's be the Magic Moose.
I
trio.
usually
we can
have to
go with-
try to steal the show, but since you
We can
gave it
go-
to me,
Hey,
I'll take
absolutely,
it.
man.
We can go with Ethan Phillips riding the Magic Moose, going down the dusty trail.
Hey,
that's cool.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Now we have to make an album and call it that. That's gotta- yeah.
Oh my gosh, that would be so fun.
World's longest title.
It's
for an
coming. I
album.
swear. I swear it's coming. I'm gonna make that.
3-disc jazz album.
Dusty, you should record it. You said you're gonna make it happen. You should record it off the microphone on your laptop into GarageBand.
I was talking about the cover art, but that's also a great idea. And that's also a great idea.
It's just coming all
I love
together.
jazz.
It's just, I think this conversation seems a little jazzy to me. It's just kind of
What do
just
you-
throwing it together. You know what I mean? It's
Syncopated?
just kind of, yeah, there's a little rhythm going here.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
talking about a little bit of swang.
You just swing a swing.
What I'm saying. Yeah.
The also,
Shut up.
so, dude, these samples are too fun. We can sit
so
here all
good.
day.
Yeah.
So,
We're gonna have a lot of fun with these.
where do you want to start? Dusty, I'm kind of gonna let you. I think we usually do good and kind of go back and forth for most of it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna kind of follow your lead because you know Ethan a little better.
Yeah.
But I'm also gonna just throw curveballs your way the
Yeah.
whole time. So get your mitt
Nice.
ready.
Yeah, this
brother.
is gonna
ready.
be a lot of fun, reminiscing and
Absolutely.
catching up. And
Yeah.
So if you guys don't know Ethan Phillips is an incredible singer-songwriter who is, that definitely comes through in his songs. So I'm excited that if you guys haven't listened to Wayfarer yet, you can go check out that EP on iTunes right now, and you definitely should.
Squad.
And Ethan also has some news for you guys coming up. But Ethan Phillips is a long friend of mine. We met in high school.
Very small town.
Officially,
Yeah.
very small town, but unofficially we were competitors in the Scholars Bowl
in the town
of Livingston. But I went to Livingston LMS, and he went to Hillham.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Hillham.
it's
There was a
all
lot
in
of
Overton
animosity.
County.
LMS was it was a much bigger school than Hillham.
It was
Yeah.
much bigger than
But
like
Hillham
all
was
the other
always
schools.
smarter. We always had those high academic goals.
I'm not gonna. Hey,
flexing.
listen. No,
He
listen.
flexing his brain on you, bro.
I'm not gonna.
That's awesome.
Nah.
You're not gonna disagree.
I'm not going to dispute. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. But, I will say this about Ethan. He was one of the first people that I saw play guitar. Like, that was one of my peers.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Would you say
And-
that at all that inspired you to get one?
Oh, 100%. He was.
No shit.
Yeah, you were actually a great big part of like, man, I really just
Wow.
want to play guitar.
I never knew that.
Dude, no, I never told you, but like,
What a place to
Um,
tell you.
Yeah.
yeah. But like, I remember the first time I heard you play, I'm like, oh my God, how do you get better than this? Like, because I was very
Seeing someone do something like that in person the first time is not to take away from. I don't know how good or bad you were at the time.
I was awful.
Well, he says he was awful, but at that time in my life, he could have.
But what I'm saying is that whole experience of seeing that the first time
Yeah.
in person, you know
It's
what I mean?
culturally
like, oh,
eye-opening.
man. It's like another human can do this. Like
Yeah.
maybe I could give it a shot.
part of one of the steps that went into leading me here and doing what I'm doing now.
That's
Yeah,
so
I know.
dope.
I know.
Wow,
it's-
that's crazy.
People don't realize the impact they make on other people.
You don't.
so true.
You
Not until
never
someone
know.
tells you.
So that's why I just.
That's really cool. You to start the episode
Yeah.
off that way. I like that.
I'm gonna
That's
be
a
thinking
good
about this for
vibe.
the rest of my life. I'm gonna be like, wow.
That's a
Dusty's career. This is crazy.
So when the Dusty's
So
first,
on my
whatever hits
gravestone, there's
big for
gonna
you
be
first,
he's gonna be on the
Yeah,
credits.
I gotta be in memoriam, man.
have a little selfie of him looking down at your name like, bruh.
Oh my goodness! But
Creds.
I actually think I was a better guitar player back then than I am now because I focused mainly on guitar, and now I'm like focusing on vocals and songwriting.
yeah,
and
so
stuff like
many
that.
things. So
Yeah.
many
Move
things.
this
Yeah.
just a little bit for you.
But-
Oh yeah, thanks.
So
Sorry,
Ethan was
are you
doing.
okay?
I'm not trying to be right in your
Ethan-
face, but
Ethan was doing music very much in high school, and he's in the talent shows
Oh yeah.
and stuff. And
avid talent show player.
Yeah, I played that most of them.
And I remember this really, really
There's
cool
always
mashup.
a couple of those people that play some. They're always playing.
Yeah, he was one of them, and he did. I remember this one year he did this really cool mashup that had quite a bit of songs in it.
Oh, that was the first year, I think.
Yeah.
To the talent show. Yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot about
and
that.
I just always thought that was so cool, and
Can any songs that come to mind that were in there?
Oh.
yeah,
If you remember, because I don't.
there was a really good array of songs in there. There was an Adele song.
There was. Oh, yeah.
There was also
I heard that you're...
yeah. I also remember there was a Josh Turner song in there.
Yeah.
Baby lock them doors. I know you're
Yeah.
probably like, how does he remember that? But that's what I'm saying. It really was eye opening for me. So those things have
crazy.
stuck with
Sticks.
me. But yeah, so Ethan is an amazing musician, songwriter,
Oh, thanks.
and check out Wayfarer. He's got exciting news coming up. Also, I don't. Where was I about to go?
You were just kind of talking about like
Yeah.
when you guys met and
Yeah.
kind of giving him an introduction.
Yeah, and so
And then I was asking you like where you want to start, like as far as, like where as far as his asking about his journey so far. So usually we start by what was your first musical experience, or what I mean?
what was your first musical experience? There you go.
To like what kind of inspired you to get to where you're at now?
Oh man, this is an interesting story. My dad played in church a lot, but he was never like incredibly talented. He always went to my uncle, who was a lot more talented, who owned a music shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
His name was Donnie Phillips.
Yeah.
So he got me started when I was 5 years old on a mandolin.
Your
Yeah.
uncle?
No, my dad.
Your dad did?
My dad bought me a mandolin, and I hated it. Like, I was just like, it's so small, and I hated the sound of it, which I don't today. I love the sound of a mandolin, but back then I absolutely did.
It wasn't like a lot. Well, I don't know what you listen to, but it's not a typical thing to just
Yeah.
only like play only hear mandolin on a song, I guess.
I had my
Maybe.
sister was like 2 years older than me, and she was playing guitar. Like, he bought her a guitar because she was, bigger, stronger than I was at the time. And I was just like, I guess I was a little jealous because I did want to play guitar
5 years old.
than mandolin. And then fast forward to like, maybe it was like 3rd or 4th grade. It may have been like 5th grade. But I started going to like the after school program we had. And there was a guitar class there.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
At Hillham?
At Hillham.
Oh my gosh.
There was a guitar class
You
there.
jealous?
Yeah.
Jelly.
There's this awesome guy. His name was Grandpa Nick. That's what everybody called him.
I love that.
I don't know what his actual name is, so that may not be his name. But he started me off on guitar, and I remember at the time it was so hard. Like
Yes.
I didn't have that focus because I was a kid, right?
Right.
And I was like, I don't really want to do this. And I remember this very distinct memory, and this changed my life forever. All my other friends were outside playing in after school, and I was like, oh my God, I want to do this. Why am I here learning guitar? So like I go out. I don't leave the room or whatever. It's a little embarrassing, but I ended up crawling under the desk and like crying and wanting to go outside and play with my friends.
But you also wanted to play guitar.
Not at that time.
Or so you were in the class.
Yeah, I was in the class.
So you couldn't go outside.
Right. And Grandpa Nick was he just like he sat down and thought about it, and then he talked to me about it. And it's like, hey, son, I honestly think you have a lot of talent. I understand that you want to go outside and play with your friends, but guitar is something that's going to last forever. Like, it's going to be something that will be your friend forever. Music is just like something that he could already see it inside me, that I just like had this rhythm like constantly inside of me.
Wow.
And there was something about the way he said it that just like calmed me down. I was just like
Almost Gandalfish, right?
Yeah, he was like my wizard, man. He was the Gandalf to my Frodo.
He was my wizard.
He was my wizard.
Thank
yeah.
you, Grandpa Nick.
It was incredible. And then after that,
Was that Saint Nick?
it might have been. Oh my!
It was to him.
And then I just started. I started playing a lot more. I ended up in the advanced class like a year later.
Wow.
And then I was head of that for a bit. And at the time, I was also doing band. And I got head chair for flute because I played flute. Make fun of me now.
I remember that now.
Hey,
yeah.
now I respect all kinds of like.
Absolutely.
It used to be a thing like you play flute like before I was into music, but like,
Yeah.
dude, knowing how much it does.
flute.
I got called skin flute a lot in high school.
Oh my
Ah,
God.
It was,
Definitely not
I mean,
me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you did, we won't say it because that's not very
Skin
nice.
flute.
Dustin.
Can we edit this part? No.
I mean, yeah. But what you
I've
co-
heard that so many times this past week. I'm serious.
you got it in. We got a lot of new samples for y'all.
Yeah, you'll hear them spread out through the sprinkled out.
But so how old were you at this time with Grandpa Nick?
He's third grade, so that would have been like
Yeah.
7, 8.
Yeah, it was really young. I was really young.
Okay.
It may have been 5th grade if I'm really thinking about it, but I kind of don't think it's not. I don't think it's 5th grade because that's the time I started flute too. So I doubt it's that time. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit before that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you always like from when you got your first mandolin to then, did you like really play a lot, or was it just something that you, like you said, you were just kind of like standoffish about the mandolin, or
Yeah.
did you feel the need to play because your dad got it for you, or?
No, my dad thankfully was never like pressured me into it. But he could tell that I had an ear for it because I would listen to commercials, like the jingles and stuff.
Yeah.
And then walk over to her piano and just like play them out.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So he knew that eventually I probably would start playing music. Hopefully, he hoped.
Yeah.
And it came to fruition. So.
It came to
Here
pass.
it is.
Yeah.
Then it came to pass. So I'm curious so obviously you started with mandolin and moved into guitar.
Yeah.
When did you start like singing along with your playing? Was that
man.
immediately, or was that something that grew on you?
I'm sure you know Leighton Pig. Right?
Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
know Leighton. Yeah.
So
Mutual friend from high school.
Yeah.
or-
yeah.
Yeah.
She was my we were dating at the time. Well, no, this was freshman year, so we weren't dating, but I was very interested in her. And we started like a small we started a small band in freshman year, and I had just played guitar at that time, and I'd never sang, and we ended up going to like the do you remember how the fair would always have like the talent shows
Yeah.
or whatever? We ended up going to that because we could win money, and it was me, her, Taylor Farmer, and
I remember Taylor.
yeah, I love Taylor. She's the best.
Her and Leighton were pretty good friends.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I can't remember who else, but there was another girl. And eventually, I can't remember the song, but they needed me to sing harmonies at the bridge section. And that was the first time I ever actually sang.
Mm-hmm. What
and,
was that like?
It was nerve wracking. I was a little scared about it.
The first time you sang was in front of. I mean, obviously you're
Yeah.
singing to get ready for
Yeah,
the
for
show.
the practice and everything.
But like the first time you.
was yeah.
Jeez.
We ended up getting first place though. They said that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey.
Jelly.
Gifted. Gifted.
So how many doll hairs
Doll hairs.
did you win?
Dollars.
Oh.
Sorry.
I was like, what?
Right
Sorry.
over the head. Right over the
It
head.
was $25. Huge deal.
Boy,
Massive.
cashed in.
Hey,
Cashed
$1
in.
for
That's how
every
you moved to
entry.
Nashville,
Yeah.
boy.
Oh, absolutely, man.
That's
I guess like
25.
y'all won the pot, so
Yeah, I guess if there was.
I don't
a
know.
pot.
I don't know if
I know that. I think they just paid first place.
Okay.
That sounds like
Oh,
Livingston.
unprofessional. Gee, many
Unprofessional.
Oh, do you need to take
Christmas.
that, Dustin?
Publishers.
Do you need to take that?
No, I
Lover?
don't need to take that. He's good.
I don't even know where mine is, so I'm glad. Oh, it's in my pocket. What was I gonna ask? I don't think I was. I was just talking.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the first time you sang, okay, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
obviously, I know naturally those people who first get into singing and they're playing guitar, looking up tabs for their favorite
Yeah.
songs.
Oh man.
I imagine you were singing like covers and stuff
Yeah.
a little bit, and just playing around, finding new stuff through new songs.
Yes.
So when did you leap from that into writing your own song?
So like I said, I was really interested in this girl, Leighton Pig.
Uh-oh.
Eh,
So
This is when you start
do you-
putting
yeah.
singing.
I got
And,
that
this is when you start
heartbeat
putting
going.
singing and playing together, kind of. Or no,
this
writing.
this was me on my own. I ended up because the talent show was coming up. This
Yeah.
is the year after I did that compilation thing,
yeah.
and I wrote her a song called "Everything" on the Wayfarer EP. So if you want to listen to it, it's
Oh
there.
my
Hey.
goodness.
So that was the first song.
Full circle. I've got to go back and listen,
Yeah.
knowing that.
That's yeah. I sang it in front of everybody. My voice was really squeaky and stuff. I remember that. But
Because you were so nervous.
yeah. Oh my god.
Jeez.
I would be too.
I think we ended
I
up.
was too when
And where'd you sing this at? At
the
the
talent
show?
show.
Talent
It's at
Oh boy.
high
How
school.
many,
And there's
300
a
people. Like there was a lot there.
well, I mean, it was the whole school,
Yeah.
so it was like
because you get
it
out
was
of
1,000.
You get out of a period to like
Yeah,
go
it's-
and watch the talent show.
Yeah, it's like
so
1,000 people. It's the
Yeah.
whole school.
It was nerve wracking.
I bet.
But we
So
started
what-
dating a little bit after.
I was
and it
gonna
like,
say,
yeah.
what'd she think? So she was cool, like she was
Yeah.
like super like
She
excited
really liked
about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think a girl in high school getting a song wrote about her. They're just,
Oh,
So dreamy.
you know, if someone wrote a song about me in high school, I'd be like, oh.
should have taken that chance, man. I'm sorry.
Dusty, you should have been up in the front with a sign.
You hold it heel first. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. So
Love it for Strum.
Yeah.
love it for Strum. I love that.
Usually I don't come up with good words together that come out of my face, but
That was good.
that
was good.
Dusty liked it. Look, when Dusty approves, or he's like, there was one episode that I read something online, and I'm just not. Aubrey asked me this the other day, like, why do you not feel confident about the way that you read? I didn't do it a lot
Because
as a
Dusty
kid.
makes fun of him.
And-
no, that's not.
Aw.
Well, I make fun of me. It's
Yeah.
some of the stuff that I say, or some of the words that I thought was a word, but I've used it in a different way forever.
Right.
It's just he's like, dude, what the so like when
Yeah.
one episode he was like, you read that really well. I was like, thanks, bro. Like, I got Dusty's approval.
Nice. Positive reinforcement.
Right. That's right.
Great.
So he was like, I
Golden
like
star.
that. Love
You
it
killed
for
it,
Strum.
man.
I was like, okay.
All right, cool.
Okay, cool. Thanks, bro. Oh man.
So I imagine well, I don't know. What was like the pace of writing songs at first for you?
It was like I wrote that song, and then I was like, I was focusing on school, and I was like, I'm not sure if this music thing is really going to take
The
off for
label
me.
shelved
Yeah.
you.
So what were your
Yeah.
thoughts that
Yeah.
no record deal in sight?
Layden was just like, you're not getting a record deal from me, so I'm out of here.
He's like, all right, I'll focus on school.
Yeah.
So you said you're thinking you stopped thinking about music as much, maybe not
Yeah.
more as not thinking about it as a career.
Right.
So how did
So at
that
that
all?
point, you were actually considering it as a career.
No, not at all. I just wrote this song because I was like I was head over heels for Layden, so I was just like, I want to do something that like really means something, and it comes from my heart.
yeah.
That's
So,
nice.
Yeah.
So then it was just kind of a hobby then.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And then I went to Grammy Camp at the end of my like senior year. of
Okay,
high
so
school.
that's when that happened.
That's when I'm just like, this could be something that people actually do. Because like living in a small town, it's hard to even think that people can
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
actually get
Well,
by
I would
doing this.
agree. Like
They
or
never talk
argue
about it.
that.
No.
I would argue that like living anywhere that's not affiliated with any type of career path that you see, especially when you see it on TV
Yeah.
and only hear about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's almost like a movie.
Absolutely.
Like you're like, I'd never be around that stuff. Like
Yeah.
I could never learn
Yeah.
that stuff. Like
Plus-
that's exactly what I thought when I started. Because the only reason I got into music is making beats. I've said that a lot
Yeah.
on this podcast, but telling you like, I was like fun to do, but like.
Let's hear a beat right
not
now.
a career, bro. Like I'll whip out one with the
Oh,
sample.
nice.
Shut
Nice.
Yeah. And while we're on the topic, I just want to take a second real quick. Sorry about the mic knock. But I do want to take a second to
Podcast
like
is ruined. Sorry.
Scratch it. We got to start over.
we'll fix it in post.
Probably not.
But I just want to say to the people no, probably not. I don't but to the people like back home from where me and Ethan are from, and even to the people in Kokomo where Moose is from, like, yeah, you're stuck in a certain mindset, like of where you are from, and
Or
you don't-
surroundings.
or surroundings, and you don't really know the possibilities, especially at that age that someone can attain if they just put in the effort.
Yeah.
And
That's all you have to do with technology today, man. Like really, like you just have to put forth the effort.
Yeah.
You just have to
And
want
work.
to learn to do.
Hard work.
I mean,
100%,
Damon has done a lot,
Yeah.
and he hasn't came out of that town.
Damon
Yeah.
Addison?
Damon
Yeah.
Addison.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of different stuff, and he has not came out of that town, but he was humble enough to be like, hey, Dusty, could you lend a hand? Could you tell me maybe what I should do? Or obviously it came to you for everything, but
Right, yeah,
you go,
no.
you chase what you want to do. If you really want to
100%.
do it, I mean,
Yeah.
you don't
and you
have
surround
to be
yourself
somewhere.
with the people that
That's the
And
ticket.
he had, like,
yeah.
he
That's
has
the ticket. Yeah.
He has a homie back home that he makes it with.
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
makes
He's got a
music with.
couple.
Like,
he's
that's
got
just a
couple,
good
yeah.
example for me. Like, first thing that comes to mind, especially where you come from is a lot smaller town than where I come from.
Definitely. Kokomo
So-
is like 50,000 people.
Yeah, 50,000.
Wow.
Livingston, I mean, I don't think there's 50,000 in
No.
Overton County.
No.
Jeez.
No, definitely not.
It's-
Definitely not. That would
No.
be
It's
Absolutely
rural.
not.
rural.
Rural.
Rural. It's a hard word, but
Rural, yeah.
rural.
I
Rural.
don't like that. I don't like saying it.
Let's
I
just
mess
avoid
with-
saying
There's a
it.
fact
I
I
mess-
don't know how to use my mouth.
I mess up with that word and brewery.
Brewery. Oh, I'm playing at a brewery next weekend.
Ooh,
Which
one?
Segue.
Which one?
It's one next to, what's it called?
Hop Springs.
No. It's pretty close to
I was
Murfreesboro.
about to say, how did our episodes chain like that? Garrett to Rasan to the brewery, like
I could look it up. It's Mountain
Springs.
Mountain Springs
I don't know,
Brewery.
something like that. Short Mountain. Short
Short
Mountain
Mountain.
Distillery. It's a distiller. Not a
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And it is where?
Oh,
Murfreesboro?
man, how dare you?
Not the address, but like the town.
It's
You
close
forget?
to Sparta.
Okay.
but
So it's close.
that's
It's a
cool.
back home.
Yeah, it's
show.
sort of like that.
I've got a lot of family in Sparta.
Yeah, it's like an hour away from
Shout out,
our-
Maryland.
See, that's why I get that messed up. Sparta is not close to Livingston, is it?
It's like 45.
It's
like
like
45 minutes.
That's not. That
It's pretty close to Murfreesboro, I think. isn't it?
Sparta. Or,
It's an hour.
It's an hour, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you take a back road.
Hey, I'm making songs on this podcast.
Can we auto tune?
So you have a show there next Friday. So
It's Saturday.
or
It's gonna be on
Saturday. So that do you know the date of that? I'm gonna look it up. If you don't.
Saturday is going to be the
It's probably
Boy, I
the
got it.
13th.
13th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, it's gonna be wait, hold on. If it's gonna be the 13th, this episode will already be out. Sorry. You say next Saturday?
Edit this out.
This
Saturday.
This Saturday.
Jeez.
Cut it.
Sorry.
Cut it.
Didn't make the cut.
Ah, it's all good.
Sorry. Well, if you guys missed him, don't sleep on this boy. He got more shows coming up.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Coming.
Because I was gonna
Coming
plug
soon
it
to
for you
all.
real quick, and then I was like, this will be out on Monday.
Yeah, it's
But-
okay though.
So live playing. That's my question.
Yeah.
How? So you went to the Grammy Camp,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
where you were. Yeah.
Did what was aside from realizing that it's like plausible, like you could actually do that? What steps did you take, kind of getting there? Was it like going out and playing live, or was it like writing songs, or getting together with more people that were like-minded?
Getting to Grammy Camp or like after Grammy Camp?
After,
That's,
or I guess
that's the thing that it's a really regrettable. Well, I don't regret where I was at that time in my life.
no
but,
regrets.
no regrets. Yeah, get that tattooed on my chest. I don't regret that because I went to school back in close to our hometown in Cookeville, Tennessee Tech. I went to school for computer engineering because like I was good with computers back then, and I was just like, this is
Y'all hear
more-
that dog?
Shut up.
Do you hear it?
I heard it a little bit. Yeah.
That's what that.
Bless, it's right in my ear. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I had to.
Oh, it's all good, man. Yeah, and I was really depressed, and I didn't realize I was depressed.
You never do.
You never do.
You don't
I
know.
was
It's like
stuck
being
a
in the
rut.
middle of a tornado.
That's
Yeah.
why you need friends, people.
I started doing I took a theater class. It was just an intro to theater.
That's
And
so fun.
I loved it. Like
That's brave.
I started going to a
That's so brave. At least from my point of
Yeah.
view.
I started going
like-
to a lot of the like they would meet up and tell people, hey, here's how you can get involved in theater.
Yeah.
Because I was missing that, like
The theater.
I was missing that in my life, just like some form of expression. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that I was.
Or was it that, or was it the community that you were more drawn to? You know what I mean? Because that's a really
Um,
kind of like you have that
or
community.
both.
The community's wonderful at Cookeville.
Because
It's great.
being in that state of mind that you were in, like
Yeah.
you were just probably kind of lethargic, like
Yeah.
kind of bummed out a lot. Like
It may have been that. It may actually just be like a combination of it. The community really helped me drive me to the place I am now because I met Julio, who recorded the first album I had
okay,
through the theater.
Oh, that's
community.
so cool.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, what am I doing here? Like, this isn't what I want to do. This isn't what I love.
as far as theater,
As far as theater, as
how long?
Cookeville,
Okay.
just like this whole
Okay.
whole thing, like computer engineering mainly. It's just like I don't want to. Why am I wasting my life with this when I know that I'm gonna regret it in the future if I don't try for something else? So
Yep. That was my
Yeah.
whole outlook in moving. So then after that, you decided to get the hell out.
After that,
Get
I
the
was
hell
just
out
like,
of Dodge.
I told everybody, hey, I'm moving next semester. I'm going to miss you guys a ton, and I still do. But this is where I'm supposed to be. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And hopefully, you know, more folks from back home will, you know, follow
Yeah.
the trend.
Yeah, move on up. You know what I'm saying?
It'd be awesome to have more people around that are like, awesome. I don't know what happened to my face. I had the same feeling though. Like when I left home, I had a couple friends that were like super close, and they were like, they saw me like make beats, and then what ended up happening is we built a little studio inside my house.
It's really cool.
It's badass, man.
I wanna see
it's
that,
really
man.
cool. I'll show you some pictures.
You'll have to show him some pictures.
But people knew I took it serious, so it wasn't like, are you sure this is what you want to do with the rest of your life? It's
Right.
just, I mean, I imagine you guys understand more than I do that small town mentality. Like when people when they don't have a chance or have never even considered moving somewhere else, and I didn't until my parents presented me with the opportunity, like they were like, you know, consider it. This is an option.
Right.
And then I decided to do that, and I was telling people that, and then like Nate, my buddy Nate, he's like, man, like you for real moving to Tennessee? And I was like, dude, if I don't do this now, when am I gonna do it? Like
Yeah.
I don't have
Yeah.
anything holding me back. Like I might as well just go, like give it a shot.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I'm in college anyway, so like why not do it in a different spot? And if I don't like it, I can always come back. You know, like you can always move back. So
Yeah.
you can't just like, but in 10 years, it's hard to, you know, we get established here even more. It's harder to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even though you can, but like, especially like prime time, like the younger, the better, I think. I don't know. As long as you're responsible enough to not light the house on fire, I think you're all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Make sure
Yeah.
a couple bills are paid, you know,
Absolutely.
you'd be all right. But that, I felt the same way. It was just like, man, I gotta go. I gotta go. Like I gotta do something. If not now, I'm not gonna, like, I'm gonna regret it.
You just
I'm
kind of
just gonna-
feel it, you know?
Yeah, you have that feeling in
Yeah.
your stomach, like, damn, it's possible for me to do. Why not just do it?
That's why I named the EP Wayfarer. It's because I wanted to leave.
Yeah. Okay.
Far Away was about it's track number 3 on Wayfarer. If you guys want to listen,
Plug it.
He's gonna go way fatter than Cookville.
Far Away was just about me like wanting to go somewhere where I can just feel like I am completely myself.
And that's exactly
Came from a state of depression and everything, and it's one of the best guitar pieces I've ever written, I think.
So did you feel when you were leaving? Did you feel that did the EP help pull you out of depression a little bit, or was it moving, or was it the combination, or?
I think the EP actually drug me down further because I was in Cookville and I made this EP,
Yeah.
and people liked it, and like I wasn't expecting people to like it.
It's
and-
just an expression.
And then I was just like, oh my God, because I just felt like I was wasting my time and I was wasting my life.
Were you still in Cookville when you released?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were just like, was it kind of like, I'm just kind of gonna put it all here, and you know, at least it's out of me now. Like I'm getting these emotions out, or
It
at
was-
least I'm able to talk about them. Like
I guess it was just me trying. Like I was just like, this time I'm gonna actually like 100% try for this thing, and then people liked it, and then I was like, oh, I guess I have work to do. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a really cool fit. Now, had you decided that you were gonna move already?
no, I ended up meeting. There's this wonderful person. Her name's Morgan, and she was my stage manager. I ran sound for all the plays.
Okay.
For like
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
the entire year and a half that I was in the community. Like for some reason, everybody just really enjoyed my company. So I got to like really mix and mingle with people.
Us too, man.
Well, thanks. So yeah, I met this awesome.
bubbling.
That's awesome. You remembered which one it was. You're
Nice.
on point. That's perfect.
I met Morgan, and through Morgan, my actual intro to theater teacher had this person. I forget. They talk to you about your life. They're like a life coach. I think that's what they're called.
Okay.
And I just talked to her for like 20 minutes, and she just like, I remember this one specific part where I was just like, I feel my life is like submerging down 2 paths. If you've ever heard the
diverged in a yellow wood.
yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
What is it?
OG Robert Frost.
Robert
Okay.
Frost.
Yeah, probably not.
Wonderful poem. Definitely read it.
Wonderful.
And I was just like, I feel like one road is super easy for me, and that's computer engineering. And I was just like, the other road for me is like going to be really difficult, but it's something that I want to pursue. And she's just like, that's not true. What you just told me is not true at all. She was like, I think that you think the easier path for you personally is going with music, but the harder path is computer engineering because of everybody else wanting you to do this in your family. Because my parents wanted me to do that, or at least I thought they did. And she like
Flip the script.
she flipped me, and I was just like, you're completely right. I've been lying to like myself and all these other people that that would be the easier way, but no, it's actually because I'm being true to myself if I go after this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I was just like, oh my gosh.
And it comes natural. Technically, it's easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're not fighting a bunch of feelings.
It was crazy. And then I was just like, okay, I gotta get out of here. That was the defining moment.
That's really cool. Damn, you're
awesome.
really fortunate to have someone like that in your life.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about Grammy Camp, because I know that is that part of what helped lead you to MTSU?
Sort of. It's just like Grammy Camp was more of a place. I met Natalie there.
Yeah.
I met this person named Kat Saul. She's blowing up right now, and she's in California. I think her and Dan actually.
Did some stuff?
Yeah.
Or friends?
I think they were friends. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll have to ask him.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Kat Saul.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I made all these cool connections. And I knew Dan because I mentioned Kat to him, and he's just like, oh yeah, because of Grammy Camp. So really, it was just a great way for me to like
Network.
Yeah, network. Yeah.
Network before he knew it was network.
And before I even knew that was what I was doing. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And that was
that is a key. Always getting back on networking.
we always go back over this.
I've heard that so many times this past week. I'm serious.
But we do. This is a common theme.
Major key.
in our conversations. It all comes back to networking. Obviously how I know you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it technically. Well,
I know you.
wouldn't call
I
it
know you
networking.
because of longitude and latitude.
Absolutely.
That's
That's a good way to put that. Yeah.
Um,
That should be a song, Longitude and Latitude.
yeah, it would be.
No.
I laughed because you said latitude.
I did, yeah.
But no, that would be.
I was
cool.
waiting on it. If you weren't gonna say it, I was gonna say it.
Yeah.
That would be a cool.
Oh,
song
absolutely,
title.
yeah.
So I'm
Dusty,
curious.
you know what I feel like you'd be good at? Side note: band names.
If you need a band name,
I feel like you'd be really good at that.
DustyWrites.com. I know that the only buttons you can click to contact me are book a co-write and book a quote for some design, but you can hit
You
either
should
of those
change it to
buttons.
Get a quote.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
does say get quote.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
I've never booked a quote.
I'm doing that right now.
Well, I used to. Anyway, yeah, and I'll get you a band name. So, HMU, dude.
All right, dude.
Anyway,
You said.
Anyway, band
You
names.
rang.
Ethan Phillips riding a magical moose
yeah.
on a dusty trail. Swag. That's a band name right there.
That's awesome.
So, how did you find out about MTSU?
Natalie, again, she did the artwork for Wayfarer. And I met her here in Murfreesboro to pick it up.
Did she paint that? Do you know how she did
painted
that?
that, yeah. It was watercolors, I think. I'm not entirely sure.
That's so cool.
Dope.
She told me. I can't remember. I'm not good with art.
Wow, this has been a long time then.
Yeah.
that
2
you've
years
done
ago?
Yeah, it was around 2 years ago.
that. Okay.
And I just met her in the Starbucks, like close to MTSU, and she was just telling me, oh, I think she had like some kind of songwriting meeting or something like that.
Mhm.
And when she told me that, I was just like, that is so cool. I can't believe they actually have stuff like that. And then I just kept talking to her about it. I was like, I'm moving here. Like, this is done.
Did you make up your mind like right there in that conversation?
Part of it was that, but I still had like all that other stuff going on. So yeah.
Yeah.
So, is Grammy Camp at MTSU?
No,
No.
Grammy Camp's in Nashville.
Nashville.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Explain that a little bit. Like how's that? How do you get affiliated with that?
With Grammy Camp?
Yeah.
They reached out through high schools. So you have a very yeah.
Dusty got skipped on that one.
No. I think you might have like almost applied for it, but you told me because I asked you in Bible class. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, dude, did you apply for Grammy Camp? Yeah.
That's what. Oh, my gosh.
That was Grammy Camp.
I guess I had no clue what. I don't know. Why
You
did
just
I
didn't
not
know what it
do
was.
that?
It was
Slipping.
You know, things happen the way they happen.
Dusty was like, dude, I'm trying to drink a tall boy and just, I'm trying to chill this weekend with my boys.
I'm in Bible class, but
But you know how I am, you know.
You know how I really am. No, I'm just kidding. That's all false. I was not drinking Tall Boys in
I don't
Bible
know.
class.
The word is no, just kidding.
the word around town. Which
Oh.
town?
The word around Livingston, man.
Word around Livingston. Oh my gosh.
Do you remember Zach Harper?
Yeah.
It was me and Zach Harper who got in because they only get like limited people from each school.
So
And
that's
some
how that
schools they
works.
even skip over. So like
I probably wouldn't have got in. Let's be honest.
So
It's
you
like-
had to what? Submit what?
you have to submit like it depends on what you were going for. You could do like audio production, songwriting, or
What did you do?
I signed up for songwriting.
But your major now is.
Songwriting.
Oh, but it was.
Yeah, it was audio production.
Same.
Yeah.
Can relate.
Yeah, I signed up. I signed up for songwriting. And they listened to my songs, and one of those songs was Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
There you go.
And they were like, "We really want you in, but our songwriting is full." They kept emailing me about it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I would just love to come." So I ended up doing the audio production program with it. But the entire time I was there, I was just like, "Man, I want to be with these other people who are like writing music and stuff like that."
It was
I want to be
so
recording.
It was the
Weird.
playground
Yeah.
guitar class scenario
Yeah.
again.
Oh, it comes back around.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a great experience. If anybody's listening and they're in high school, definitely see if your school like supports it, and if they do, go for it 100%.
And if they don't support it,
go for it 100%.
So you went to Nashville, like, right, for that?
yeah, it was a
Yeah.
week long.
See, they don't. I mean, I would imagine that's obviously kind of location based.
Yeah.
It's just around here.
No, we had people from Canada, California.
wow.
And
like
they
all
didn't
these
do it
other-
in Indiana. I'll tell you that much. I don't know nothing about no Grammy program.
It's weird. It's like it was like so when I signed up for it, I was sketched out about it because it was just like, is this real? Is this like actually owned by like the Grammys, the people? And
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
It totally is.
Yeah.
And it's not super
You thought
well
they might
known.
just like named it that, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like
Am I going to
to
get
lure
here and
in
get
people
robbed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or get shot up or something. Yeah. No, it was legit.
I've heard that so many times this past week. I'm serious.
I love that. Yeah, it was great.
So when you went, instead of doing songwriting, you did audio production. So you were just learning. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
you were just learning stuff about like studios and.
Originally, they had me working with computers because I was just like, well, that's what I'm going to.
Yeah, and I guess it was a good translation because you were into the
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
kind of a
Computer
cool
engineer.
way to jump over.
But then they were like, then they let me in the studio, and I never left the studio. I was like, dude, just let me. Can I just stay in
Dude.
here? And they let me because I was
They
I
just
was
let you hang
I was
out with
offering
the
some
other
really
groups?
cool. Yeah, I was offering some really cool ideas and stuff. So I got to hang out with the singers and the songwriters who were making these songs. So,
Yeah.
So what studios were you in?
I was in Belmont. I was in the Belmont Studios.
Okay.
That's what it was.
I haven't seen those. I
They
should
are
just-
nice.
They're nice.
They're pretty nice.
yeah.
They're nice. I've only seen pictures, but they're nice.
Yeah, they nice. 100.
100.
Honey. Where's it at? Where's Bubble and Dusty?
Bubbling. yeah.
Nice.
Oh man, but I imagine like, was that your first like experience with a studio, being in a studio?
Yeah,
Is that
It was
feeling not
mind-blowing.
crazy?
it was great.
It really
Yeah.
it kind of when I first walked into a professional studio, I'm like, yeah, I want this to be my life.
Yes.
This is how I want to live my life.
It was so cool.
There's nothing else I ever want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if you commit,
It's a surreal moment.
it's a real moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and most people, I invited my mom and my grandma to stop by where I'm working now, and it was just it's mind blowing for people.
You were telling me about that.
It's
Yeah,
mind
like the
blowing
look
for
on their
people who
faces.
don't realize like what these professionals. If you've never seen a professional studio or don't realize where the music that you listen to is recorded, and you walk into one of those, it's just kind of. It's
You
just
think you walked on a
insane.
movie set or something?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
What?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. But-
So much space, so many like
So many knobs.
Cut-
Just look at that.
Oh.
Look
So
at that
many-
board.
Yeah.
so
What do
many
you do with that?
colors and lights and
Yeah.
like what is
Touch
going
3
on?
buttons.
We'll just use these two right here,
Yeah.
the 3 fingers.
Yeah.
So through.
Oh, were there
through-
professionals there?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
we got to
through
meet the
that-
drummer for Damien Rice. That's a country artist.
Oh, okay.
We got to meet his drummer.
Cool.
We almost got to meet like Carrie Underwood, but
almost got to meet Carrie Underwood.
She dipped, I think.
She was like,
we
"I
got
got
like
a
signed
date."
CDs from her, but that was
That's cool.
That's
She's
cool.
like, I'm only here long enough to sign the CDs. Bye.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she dipped.
She's like, I ain't no teacher.
I'm out of here.
Deuces. So through that, like, you said you got to sit and hang out with the songwriters and do that stuff. What did you have any major takeaways from that experience, especially being kind of, I mean, you're pretty new to it at this point, right? Because we did take a little step back to Grammy Camp.
Yeah,
so.
100%. I was definitely very new to it. Oh, also, do you know Marcus from Slider? Marcus.
The band Slider here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Marcus.
Oh, I don't know him, but I know the band.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Marcus was in Grammy Camp as well, the same one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dope.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that did it.
Marcus.
okay.
Marcus. Recorded Natalie's first album because they met at Grammy Camp. Yeah.
Jeez.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And it's also funny how a lot of those people venture to
Yeah. To Murfreesboro. Yeah.
Murfreesboro.
Yeah, MTSU is it still? Do you guys know if it's still the #1 audio production school? Was it audio production?
At one time, it was number one. I
Is
think.
it not?
It's not. I mean, it's
It's up
top
there though.
5.
Yeah, I would argue top 3. I mean, I would say it'd be.
I would
still be
argue
up there.
people are sleeping on it and they don't realize what's coming out of this
Well,
place.
Also, though,
So much talent. It's
I'm gonna
crazy.
argue with you.
Come on.
There's a lot of good talent here.
Well, I'm gonna argue
like-
with you. No.
Well, hold on a
let's just go.
second.
Hey, that could be a bit. We could just.
No, I'm gonna argue with you. But I mean, I feel like people, like some people are like I didn't ever know about it, but like once you get here, like I don't know. I'm also woo woo about a lot of. I'm like
Whoa.
hippy dippy
Whoa,
about
whoa, whoa.
about some
You know
things.
that thing?
Woo woo.
You know what I was talking about? Whoa, whoa. He said that. Whoa, 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 whoa.
And they went down there and woo woo. You know,
Pardon.
but they
You're
like,
bad.
there's a reason for all the people that are there's a lot. I mean, we got a great increase in people coming to MTSU in the past couple years too.
Yeah.
Um,
A lot of that due to sports. But
the amount of talent here is just. I
Yeah.
mean, I
It's
think
phenomenal.
it's just crazy. It's like a little. It's like a when someone lifts up the rock that's sitting on top of Murfreesboro.
you see Patrick Starr. I'm kidding. You
You
see
see stars.
You see stars, yeah.
That's right. But it's a little gold mine, you know.
It
It's
is.
and it's developing
is.
quick.
Yes.
And if the
So-
right person heard this podcast, they'd come in here and swoop everybody up on a pub deal to try to.
Facts. There's
It-
been a lot of gems on the podcast.
Oh my gosh, dude! If I had
we still have so many people that we want to get on here too.
if I had a publishing company, if I could start one right now,
Do it.
I'd be
Right now.
blessed.
Blessed.
Blah.
So, where did we get to though after? So,
So,
Grammy
Grammy
Camp, then
Camp, yeah.
moving to MTSU.
Yeah.
So how long ago was it that you moved here?
It's a year ago. Yeah.
It's
this-
only.
I think.
Man, I feel like I've
yeah.
known you for a long
yeah.
time.
It's
it's
only
only
been
a year.
it's only been a year.
That's weird. I feel
Yeah.
like I've known you longer than that. I feel like it's been. We were at the old place, on Crestline.
You were, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So,
I met you after a songwriting night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dusty
yeah,
said-
and he
yeah.
was like, "Hey, I got this buddy that I haven't seen in a long time, and like, I really want him to come over and hang out.
It was
and,
cool.
like, Can you show him the studio?"
This pad's
And I
really
was
cool
like,
too.
Thanks, bro. Thank
Yeah.
you. We put a lot of work in over here. A
Yeah.
lot of,
We're gonna work
but-
together too. Like I'm
facts.
100% down. Yeah.
facts. We've already talked
You
about
just,
it.
you just etched it in stone, my friend.
but there it is.
Yeah.
So you're.
What influenced you to MTSU?
It was Natalie.
It was
She was
Natalie
talking,
Hunt
yeah.
all the way. So
Yeah.
you
'Cause
were
I didn't know
sold.
anything about it. Yeah, she just mentioned like a couple things. I was like, I'm in.
So
That's it.
Natalie was to him as he was to you.
Yeah,
Yeah, and yeah.
not in like a music. Yeah,
Not in a yeah,
But just-
different way, different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was trying to connect the dots.
It's
dude.
connected.
I'm sorry. I mean, yes, absolutely. Cut that out, please.
We'll fix it in post.
Fix
Probably
in
not.
post, dude.
Oh goodness
So
gracious!
you were here for? Did you get like affiliated with? Was it Amp Rights that you went
Yeah.
to?
Yeah.
Was that first? So was that was that the beginning of the semester? Did you just happen to see that posted
That
up
was
somewhere?
fall.
How did you get to? How did you
No,
get to
spring.
Amp
No,
Rights?
last spring. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
How did you get to Amp Rights?
I think I saw it in an email, and then I was like, "Dusty's doing this," and I think I messaged him on Facebook,
Yeah.
Okay.
and then he told me the times, and I was like, Bet.
I'm
I'll
in.
be there.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And he was there every time he said he would be there.
Yeah.
did you
And
have
this
any
dude-
other experience? What? This dude
I was
what?
gonna say, this dude stuck around and helped me, like, he always helped me carry like the piano and all that stuff. And now, if
Thanks
you
for
guys
keeping
don't
her
know,
safe.
Ethan is actually the provider of the piano at Amp
Yeah.
Rights.
I help Chloe.
Yeah, he helps
Yeah.
Chloe.
Swag.
So I just think it's so cool for things like
and
that.
for
to
people
come
that
full
don't know,
circle,
Amp
and
Rights is
I'll let Ethan
The
plug
best
it.
thing in the world.
I'll let Ethan plug it.
Amp Rights is like, if you are a songwriter, it's an incredible opportunity for not only
obviously
do you,
at MTSU.
at MTSU, yeah. No, it's at Tech. No, it's obviously a great place for you to get your music, just with fellow artists for them to like critique. But it's also just a way to like make a lot of good connections and friends. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
'cause
made a
I-
lot of friends out of there.
Yeah,
Co-writers.
100%. Yeah,
even.
absolutely. Yeah.
Did you do? Do you do a lot of co-writing?
I did one, and I'm not very good at it. I did it with Jaron Blair.
And that came out of Amp Rights.
It came out of Amp Rights. Yeah, we were just like, hey, we should co-write. And that was my first one. I've
Your
ever
first
done.
co-write experience.
And I felt like I bombed it. So I mean, I came in with a cool guitar lick, but that was all I committed to it. So
Hey, you never
Yeah.
know what that adds. It's just
Yeah,
a little
it's
bit
true.
of seasoning. You might
It's
not have the whole bottle of sauce, but you had a little bit of seasoning. you know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
yeah.
I do want to get better at that. I need to hit more people up about it. So.
Hit me up, cuz.
Yeah, we keep saying that.
We
but-
do keep
yeah.
saying that. We need to commit.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
need to commit.
Just let me know.
Yeah, I'll get a hold of you. Are you busy on? We'll set this up after.
We'll talk after.
That way, you guys don't know exactly where we're at when we're co-writing, and you just want to sneak in
It's
and
like
get credit.
7 people show up and they're like, "Hey,
Hey,
you
what is
guys
this the
writing
co-write?
Dude, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Guys, that's Tennessee Tech. All right.
That's Tennessee Tech on April 20th.
And you came, so you said a year ago, so it was a spring semester when you first came to MTSU.
Yeah.
So you didn't waste no time. You immediately jumped in,
Yeah.
trying to get experience with different events and stuff like that, and
Well-
then kind of latched to Amp Rights.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what was that conversation like with your parents when you told them, like, "Hey, this is what I want to do"?
It was.
That's a good question.
That is a great question. Yeah. My dad is a preacher, and he is very he's very loving, but he's also very protective, like very
Yeah.
overprotective of
Yeah.
his kids, which is it's a good
Understandable.
quality sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not the best quality.
Especially if you're the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was expecting like a lot of backlash because I was planning this out for a while, and then I just told him as we were driving to I think we were driving to a Dollar General, and I was just like, hey man,
Hey, man.
I'm definitely
Hey, bro.
Listen, man.
Hey,
Hey,
bro,
bro,
check it.
listen,
Dude.
Listen up, bro.
and I just told him, I was just like, I feel depressed here. I can't do this anymore. This is what I want to do. This is what I feel like I was meant to do. So yeah, I'm going to MTSU. And he was just like, I saw this coming. And he was just like, do your thing."
Dude.
No
Oh, my
kidding?
gosh.
He
was
That's
like,
just
"Do
so
your
and you're
heartwarming.
sitting here kind
Yeah.
of
So
expecting the
heartwarming.
worst.
Yeah. Wow. I was
What a good
definitely
result,
expecting
man.
backlash. Yeah.
Huge weight lifted off your shoulders.
100%. And now they're
And
so
he prob-
supportive. They're
dude,
like, yeah.
He probably saw it when you were that 5-year-old kid picking up the mandolin.
Yeah. Maybe.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom, for sure. He was like, just one day. One day.
One day he'll get there. I'll let him, find
He's
himself.
probably just
Yeah.
driving like, hate to say a toe-to-so, but a toe-to-so.
I told so, and it's a big toe to so.
He may listen to this podcast and just be nodding to himself, just like, yeah.
Yep, for sure.
Absolutely.
I toe-to-so. So the experience obviously was very supportive from now. What about like friends and family? Anybody like kind of like, hey, like,
Yeah.
or super pushy towards you actually going or not, or
Yeah. They
you know
were,
what I mean? That conversation is just weird to have with like other people. You
is,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
Especially,
I'm
like,
moving, and I'm
friends.
pursuing music
Yeah.
too. Like it's like I don't know. I thought it was weird.
Everybody was super supportive, which is great. I've been very blessed in that way because they were just like, I think that they just could hear it, with me playing music and everything. They're just like, yeah, you need to do that. You need to just like follow your dreams and go for it.
Yeah. And that's what everyone should do.
Yeah. I also do think that like if you do have some like backlash and negativity, that's healthy. I think that you need to fight
100%.
that because that's where you really find your resolve.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, all right, I'll prove you wrong.
Yep.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Let's do
Oh
it.
yeah. You get a little fire.
Yeah. You're just
Yeah.
like, come on.
I mean, I
Let's
had
do
a
it.
fire. I had a fire of my own.
Yeah.
As do people who usually
You gotta have it.
attain their dreams.
Dude, I did for sure. Especially because I don't know if it now like was there anyone around you or like in your school or other friends or family that also play music? Was it more common around you and amongst the people that you knew that just play music in general?
I did have some friends like that. Most of my friends were into theater.
Okay.
But some of my friends were also into like playing music, like Julio, of course. But then I had friends that I went to band with in high school that also went to tech. And it was surprising because those friends were the ones who weren't supportive. Like they were the ones who were just like, man, come on, continue with your computer engineering. Or you could really feel it.
You
Or
know, that's a very interesting thought.
or they'd listen to the EP and they'll be like,
You know what
I
the
don't know.
difference is?
what?
I think, and if any of those people hear this, I don't want them to be offended, but I think
Send it to all of them.
we can clip
Listen
it.
to what Dusty said.
This is the put it in the comments. Hey, look at this.
Who's
picture.
this guy?
Make the description just quote. So go ahead.
I was gonna say, you had a more depth of creativity, which made it make sense. And to them, maybe they didn't have that depth of creativity where
Yeah.
they're like, oh yeah, maybe you should do this.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they didn't understand that.
Yeah. This is something I've been thinking about pretty heavily, is that like band is amazing when you want to learn how to read music or you want to learn like the intricacies of music, but is not good at all when you're trying to be creative.
No,
'Cause
it's not expressive.
It goes
or-
against
it's not-
creativity.
It
Well, I
does.
wouldn't say it's not expressive, but it's just like
It's conformity.
It's too structured. Exactly.
It's 100. That's all it is. Because I remember I was lucky to be first chair in band, and I can remember.
Could you explain to me what that means? 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't.
So I was also a drum major. First chair is like you're the best of your certain section and you're the leader of them.
Okay.
Uh,
Sorry, my naivety on that.
I don't really know. I know it's you're the best, but where do you
And-
sit?
Drum major is the person
First chair.
who can tuck. Drum major is the first chair. Drum major is the person who conducts the band. Like
Okay.
when they're marching and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But when you are like pretty high up in your seat, I at least felt like I wanted to do something really cool, and I wanted to do something that was creative. So any solo opportunities that I got, I'm just like, I want to put my own spin on this. I know that it says that you need to like decrescendo here and then crescendo up or
Oh,
something.
really?
And I was just like, but what if I go into it like a crescendo just slightly and then decrescendo and then keep that the same level and then like crescendo up just slightly. And I was just like, I want to do stuff like this in my solo.
Did you try?
Yeah.
Did they let you?
They let me try, but you get reprimanded for like
Yeah.
for creativity because it's not the way the song's supposed to go. Well, it's not a song, it's a piece of music, but it's not the way it's supposed to. It's written, and if it's not the way
Yeah.
it's written,
People have a problem with it.
you can't do it. Yeah,
Yeah. That sucks.
it does. You lose a lot, I think.
Yeah.
There's a lot of give and take with learning music in that way. Like I won't say the way that I was trained was classically for the most part with piano, but I don't even like to say I was classically trained because it makes me sound like I know how to play real well, and I don't.
I wasn't even
I
trained.
was just-
But I played for a couple of years, and it was just like after a while I was like, man, this is stifling my creativity. But it taught me a lot.
Yeah,
Like it does teach you, especially when you're like creating and learning it at the same time.
it teaches you so much.
But
Sometimes I'm a little shocked at like how little people know, but they just do it through creativity, and that's amazing to
Yeah.
me. Because like, and I do have problems sometimes communicating because I'm just like, all right, you want to go to the tonic, and they do a fifth harmony from here, and then some people won't understand what I'm saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Until I took, what's the class here, the theory class.
Musicianship for engineers.
Boom. Until I took that, I didn't know any theory.
Yeah,
So I was making
Same.
music for like 4 years with no theory background. Like I would
That's
try
amazing.
to understand
yeah,
like what chords are and stuff. Like it was hard for me to understand because I didn't even know the vocabulary.
right.
So like that, I created only through what I could come up with. I was like, I didn't know what a hi-hat was. I didn't know that songs needed bass.
Yeah,
I didn't know what a kick was. I was just kind of confused. Like I was just like that type of drum, that type of sound, and I would try to Google it, and then I would figure out through like watching videos or whatever.
do you feel like that helped your process a lot?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Because like I said, after a while with I don't know. I would argue a little bit that I would have liked a little bit more structure.
Yeah.
But not something that I had to own up to every week, like a lesson.
Yeah.
Because actually, I was very fortunate that when I did start to learn, though I won't say till 4 years in was when I got my first theory experience, because my first piano teacher for a year and a half, it was like a couple years after I started, and then Dean Schimmelfinnig.
Thank you.
His last name Schimmelfinnig means shiny penny, and he's in a band called Shiny Penny back
That's
home.
amazing.
And they
That's
once
super good.
opened for John Bon Jovi.
Yes.
John Bon. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
Look them up if you've.
They have
never
some
heard of
really cool music videos and really great songs.
Yeah, they do.
I'm down.
Shout out Sticks. Shout out Dean.
And I want to say Austin.
We'll cut it out. We're cutting. We can't do that.
No, we can't.
cut.
It's all right. I haven't seen him in a long time. But super good. So I was very fortunate to have Dean as a teacher, because I would come in and I would say, he'd say, what do you want to learn? And basically he kind of started by getting me familiar by going up and down like the C scale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With left and right hand, getting left and right hand playing a little bit.
Right.
But he was like, what do you want to learn? And the first thing I came in with was like, I want to learn a song by Panic at the Disco. And it was just all piano based. It was like would you call it a ballad, Dusty?
Yeah. Okay.
It's called The End of All Things.
Yeah.
So that was the first song that I learned on piano, and he was just like, cool, you like this song, you want to learn it, this is how it goes. And
That's
then I would
awesome.
ask questions like, why are these notes played together, or what is this? And then I would learn a little bit, but it wasn't like that was the main focus. So that's what really helped me.
That's awesome.
And when I started to apply that with making my own music, it was like, at that point, I was so excited to play the piano that I remember getting up in the morning and going straight to the piano before even using the restroom and playing for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Right.
And it was just, I was that excited about it. And then when I got to MTSU, my instructor was great, but he didn't understand that. Like, he was very nice he wasn't so hard on me like everyone else. And I only took a 1 credit hour class, so it wasn't like super intense. But he was like, you have to learn, like, this is kind of required, like, you got to play in a recital at the end.
More
There's a
constructive.
syllabus.
Yeah, so
Follow it.
yeah.
The syllabus is all
you
music notes, and you have to put it together.
Yeah, by the end, figure it out.
Yeah. You won't know when your final exam is until
you read the syllabus. That would be messed up.
That's funny, actually.
That's rude. But that's when I felt like a little bit it started to stifle my creativity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's interesting because I think that there's more than 2 different types of people, but I think there's like
2 main groups. I understand what
well,
you're saying.
you're very inquisitive. Like, you were able to, with your first teacher, you were just like, he was just like, hey, I can see that you're inquisitive, so you come in with something that you want to learn.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And most teachers take the approach of like, this is structure. No one's
I know where you should start.
Inquisitivity is not the forefront.
Yeah.
So it doesn't help you as much. And I think that a lot of people who want to just learn the things that they know is going to help them, they lose a lot in that process. You lose a lot of time. Mm-hmm. But also you have to look at it from the mindset of just like, structure is so important in music too. Because if you miss a step, and you miss like what, like say you miss like, okay, well a major chord is this, and this is a minor chord, and this is why. So if you miss that step and you never know that, then later on in the future you might be screwed because of that. So I can see that as well. But it's also like, time is so short.
Yeah.
Well, and I also think that when
Yeah.
you get more things going in your brain, as far as like, these 2 notes aren't supposed to go together usually,
Yeah.
or this is going to create that type of feeling,
Yeah.
it kind of holds you back. But I feel like it's almost like kind of like a NASCAR track. Like, you have a specific road you have to drive on. You know, you kind of have barriers, but you don't really have lanes you have to stay in. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
true,
you can
yeah.
kind of weave in and out and figure it out, but like, you kind of need, like, if you're going to make a song, it needs to be, if you're going to play a bunch, you're going to play all major chords, you can't all of a sudden just switch to minor chords.
Right.
Like, you're going to throw it off. But
Right.
if you don't know that, you're kind of just plucking around on the keyboard, like, what's going on. You know, that's what
Yeah.
I was doing.
Yeah.
So it kind of, if I would have had a little bit, but once I started to get a little bit better idea, then it really helped. It also helped that my instructor, Dean, he was an artist too. So,
Oh yeah.
you know, he kind of
Yeah.
understood.
He knows the struggles. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's a
definitely.
heck of a piano player.
Absolutely.
I took
Absolutely.
piano lessons.
I'm going to turn the screen on. You guys are good.
Okay.
I took piano lessons when I was a freshman in college. That's when I first started. No, I was a sophomore. And my teacher, I had already like started like figuring things out on piano.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you know the
No?
There we
not?
go.
there we
There
go.
it is.
Nice.
Sorry. I don't know why it does that. My screen goes off. I have it set to not go off, but when I don't touch it for 45 minutes, it goes off. Computer don't go to sleep. Monitor goes off. And then we lose sound for like 2 seconds. Like 10.
Wow.
But sorry.
So
Super weird.
dun, 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 dun.
River Flows in You. It's by Urima. It's a very popular piece. I think it was in Twilight. So
Oh yeah.
before
yeah,
I started playing, because I already had an idea.
Dusty definitely
yeah,
knows.
he's
now.
like Twilight. Yeah,
I got it. I got
that's
it.
me.
you. Twilight, I got you.
Yeah. So that was I learned that piece before coming in, because I already had a basic knowledge of music. So when he started teaching me, I was just like, can I just show you what I know, and then like we move on from there. And he had me. Do you guys know what sight reading is? Well, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he had me like
Can't do it.
sight read the beginning book. Basically, he just kept flipping the pages, and I kept doing it. And then he was just like, all right, what do you want to learn? And I was just like, this is amazing. This is a great piano teacher. Until I got to a couple pieces. Like, do you guys listen to a lot of classical? Like any like Chopin or anything?
I listen.
I had to for a little while.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like it, but I wasn't knowledgeable.
Oh, of
so I
course,
know
yeah.
a little bit.
Frederick freaking Chopin.
Yeah. Do you know the piece Arabesque?
I don't know that piece.
I remember the name. I don't know it. I can't hear the tune, but I know that name.
Yeah, he started me off on that piece, and I was like, I was really into it for a while, but then he just kept like,
Pretty tough, isn't it?
it's a little tough, but I was ready for it. I wanted to do it, and that was the whole thing. But then he started like putting a lot of pressure on me. He was just like, you can make it. You can go real far with this piano playing. And I was just like, I'm just doing this as a hobby, man. And he kept pressuring me. And now anytime, and I quit. I did quit. I still play a lot of piano, but I was just like, I don't want to do this. Guitar's my main instrument. And I just kind of want to focus on that and like writing songs, not classical music. Although you can find a lot of inspiration in classical music.
Yes.
But now every time I go into, it's Crossroads Music back home in Cookeville was where I was taking the lessons.
Yeah, yeah.
So anytime I walk back in there and he's in there and he sees me, he's just like, you could have gone far. You could have made it in the piano world. I'm just like,
I don't want to
That's
be
not
in the
what I wanna
piano
do, though,
world.
man.
I'm trying to be a rock star, bro.
yeah, man. My music's all rock,
A
dude.
yacht star.
Yeah.
Guilting you. Okay, so I have a question about this new EP coming out.
Yeah.
Can you say the name of the EP?
It's gonna be called Memories.
Memories.
Yeah.
So on Memories, off of Memories, you're gonna let us preview
Yeah.
a little bit of each one.
Like 30 seconds or so. Yeah.
Okay.
30 seconds.
So what I'm gonna do is I'll throw a little reverb on the tail whenever we cut it off, so it's not just like cutting it off where it's like dragging it down. I don't know. I'm trying to be creative. Anyway, I'm gonna play a song. I think it's a good time for a little break. What do you guys think?
All right, sounds good.
Yeah,
Feels good?
yeah.
I kind of got
Absolutely.
cool. I guess I was being selfish. What song would you like me to play first? And give it a little intro here, and I'm gonna load it up.
Are we doing the 2 and then the 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
So give
okay.
us a couple intros, and then
In whatever order you want.
yeah.
Let's do Songbird and then Monotony.
Okay, and give them both a little intro. Like what? Give us.
Oh yeah. So Songbird, I wrote it when I was still in Cookeville. Songbird is it was a rainy day and I had this rhythm section going. It's like ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. And I was just like, man, I really want to do something with this, but I couldn't find any words. So it was raining, and I walk outside. I'm sitting on my porch, and I hear these birds just like whistling. And I was just like, and I was feeling a little down. I was like, pretty songbird. Would you sing for me? And then it just kind of like it took off from there.
And then it just fell out.
Yeah, and I wrote the song that like in 20 minutes or something. It's definitely one of my faves.
Those are great songs.
Monotony comes from a place of like, I was working at Walmart, and I kept scanning the same items over and over again,
Oh my gosh.
and I was like,
Monotony.
but I heard the beep, beep, like every other
Oh
second.
my gosh.
And there's like
Man.
there's something musical about that. I think you can find music in anything.
You're a very positive person.
Yeah.
He's sitting there thinking of lyrics all day.
Right.
Different
You're
BPM.
like, why are you scanning on our items like that?
Okay, this
I'm writing a song, dude. Shut up.
Yeah, I actually, no lie, like I remember distinctly one day I had a receipt and I tore off that receipt and I started writing down lyrics.
Really? At work?
As people just kept coming in. Yeah, I needed to get
Hold
out
on.
of that job.
Hold on. I have to get this out. Hold on. Just like telling
Yeah,
them to wait.
no, I didn't do that.
Just writing
I'd be
your
fired.
lyrics.
I'd be out.
one
Pardon
more
me.
line, please.
This is the bridge. This is very important for the song.
Excuse me.
You don't
So,
understand the concept.
That's
kind of
where the or the song came from.
Yeah, monotony. And then I went home and I didn't want to put. I played this little piano riff. Where it was like, ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da, and it was just kind of like. It's not a arpeggio, but it's
Don't look to me.
You'll listen to it and you'll be like, okay, that's what that is. Because I can't remember the name. And I kept doing that over and over again because that's how I felt. I was just like, this is so. It just happens. It keeps repeating. My life just keeps repeating over and over. And then I was stuck with the piano part for a very long time until I started writing like a cello violin section for it.
Oh,
and
wow.
Then everything just kind
And
of.
you write all your music too.
Yeah.
That's really unique as an artist, I think. Am I? do you think-
Were you like actually writing out notes?
No, I did
well,
it on.
just the fact that you're like doing the part, like you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I guess it's similar to someone like hip hop artists making their beats or something, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's a lot more thought
But
out.
you actually write different
part.
instrument parts.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is super cool.
Yeah.
I did have a little help with monotony with his name's Alex. He's a cello player, and I was just like, man, I don't know how like cello bass usually plays. So he ends up writing like the cello part for it. But then I wrote the moving rhythms and everything else with a violin. So it was a collaboration on that effort. But yeah, I definitely try to make sure I know what I want before recording into the studio.
That's a very
because you waste so much time.
Great
really
quality
good.
to
Yeah.
have.
That's really good. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't do that.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot that goes into a song that people just overlook sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's monotony. It just comes from a place of
Awesome.
monotony.
So we'll play about 30 seconds of each,
Yeah.
and then we'll have a little break. Everybody, thanks for hanging out thus far.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ethan, thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. This has been great.
Little wrist, big fit.
And we'll be back for part 2 in a minute.
Sweet.
Dum da dum da 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 dum da dum da 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 dum da dum da 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 dum. Pretty songbird, would you sing for me? 'Cause I sure could use a little company. Your smile parks my way and gives me a better day, and I'm sure everything's alright until you leave my side.